Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Annie and this is Unity Consciousness. We're going to be discussing the energy that will be prominent beginning tomorrow, the 10th of January, and moving through the weekend. Thank you so much for joining me today. It truly is a blessing to have you here. It is a very light energy week, and we'll go through the few occurrences of astrological configurations, and then I'm going to jump into a brief overview of 2022. So if you only want to stay for the first few minutes, that's perfectly fine, because at the end I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant of what we can expect in the energy for this year. So let's get started on this week. Let's start with this week first. Monday, which is the 10th of January, we have the Sun, which is in Capricorn, is going to sextile Neptune, which is in Pisces. And this is a very good practical energy. The Sun is about you as an individual, and it is in Capricorn, so practical steps of organization. And Neptune being in Pisces, very good for creative or metaphysical pursuits. So any practical steps that you want to take towards organization or manifestation, it'd be a great day for it. And it's a good day also for any creative pursuits, or if you're into metaphysics, doing metaphysics studies or anything like that, great day for that. Be mindful, because we've got Neptune here, be mindful of disillusion or deceit. That would be on a three-dimensional level. And I have to tell you, I think most of the folks that are with me on this channel resonate with that five-dimensional energy, but just be mindful of that. You may cross paths with somebody who might have a little question as to whether or not you're getting the whole story, so that might pop into your sphere tomorrow. Then on Tuesday, which is the 11th, we have Mars is going to square Neptune. So remember, squares ask us to do something. However, on this day in particular, I'm going to ask that you pause, because Mars is going to want us to take action on something. And unless it has to do with a creative project, a painting, something personal of nature for yourself, or a metaphysical pursuit, I would cause you or ask you to have a little caution, because you may not have the whole story. So just make sure you've got all the details up front before you jump and do something. Mars wants us to take action, but again, like I said, you may not have the whole story. So it's best to use the 24-hour rule before you do anything and see if the next day is a little bit better. With that said, however, we do have Mercury is going to go retrograde in Aquarius on Friday, the 14th. So be mindful of this. We are in shadow now. We've discussed before, no contract signing unless you absolutely have to, and double check any communications. Mercury rules communications, and it's in Aquarius. So Aquarius is technology. Is your cyberware up to date? Is your cyber protection software up to date? If not, then get that virus software updated prior to Mercury retrograde. Be careful with any communications. Like I said, double check, triple check your communications, and just be mindful of that. If you can put off a contract signing, please do so. Mercury stations direct on the 3rd of February. That means turns and goes direct, but it remains in shadow, not quite up to speed where you want it to be, until the 24th of February. So if you can wait until the 3rd to sign those contracts or purchase that new car, then please do so. Otherwise, do it, but you might have to renegotiate something if you move forward with the process while Mercury's in retrograde. And that is really it for the energy this week. So let me quick jump ahead to the energy of 2022, and I think we can expect with last year's energy, which is still in the background. So we've had our Saturn Uranus square that was prominent most of the year and had that pretty significant hit near the end of the year on Christmas Eve. It's going to be not exact, but that energy is going to be similar again later in the year this year. But you can feel that energy starting to step into the background. However, we do have More prominent energy relating to a T-square between Pluto, which is in Capricorn, Haumea, which is a dwarf planet, which I'll talk more about in a minute, which is in Libra, and Eris, which is in Aries. So this is very transformational energy. It is can be somewhat revolutionary, but that is going to be a big theme for us this year. And just be aware of that. That's going to be our theme kind of playing in the background. I expect that we will see quite a few extremes. The nodal shift is going to occur next week. We do have some very significant energy that's going to be coming in at the very end of this week, Sunday, Monday, more so Monday, and then a full moon, then the nodal axis shift, as well as Uranus going direct. And with the nodal axis shift, it's really going to energize Uranus in Taurus, but most importantly, the power of Uranus. Uranus is the planet of fast-moving change. I attribute it to the feeling of we're coming out of this restriction or dealing with this restriction with Saturn, and we're being mindful and we're doing everything that we can. Uranus is that energy that takes and just throws you forward really fast, gets you where you need to be, and I mean like right now. So I expect that 2022 will have some pretty turbulent times, let's say, a lot of fast-moving energy. It'll just be very eventful. That's a fact. So make sure that you are not too fixated on where you're at currently or what you're doing currently, because there may be some fast-moving changes that ask you to pivot. Now, I mentioned a dwarf planet, Haumea, and I believe with the expansion of consciousness, at least based on what I'm gathering myself and some intuitive hits that I've been getting, there will be an expansion of the chakras that go above our body and deep into the earth. I think they've always been there, but they're being enacted. And now the dwarf planets are going to play more into our astrological compass, if you will, over the course of this year. You'll hear me talk about them a little bit more. So I think that's going to be something that we can depend on. Our consciousness is expanding, and so therefore we have all these other tools that are going to help us through the processes of ascension and use that energy to our advantage. So truly, as these changes come, just keep in mind, life happens for us, not to us. So as we zip in through these changes here and there, we are also going to have the tools necessary to be able to use that to our advantage, or we'll have the ability to make a choice to use it to our advantage. Now, as I mentioned, next week, I believe it is on the 16th, the sun is going to conjunct Pluto. Like I said, we got a full moon in Cancer, very emotional, very powerful, very intense, just like the day before energy. We got that nodal axis shift. Uranus is stationing direct. Uranus is definitely going to be more profound. And then this year, as well as for the next 18 months, our eclipse cycles are going to be on the Taurus-Scorpio axis, which again, it's activating Uranus. It is going to energize Uranus. The planet Jupiter switched signs and is now in the sign of Pisces, and it is zipping through it. It is moving so fast. You're going to notice a acceleration. The first 2 weeks of this month have been fairly calm. You are going to notice this acceleration continue over the course of this year. And like I said, Jupiter in Pisces is it's mutable water. So mutable water is like water without boundaries, but it also is unconditional love on a three-dimensional plane. It is so wonderful. I love this energy. It just feels really, really good. But Jupiter, which usually takes a year to go through a sign, is going to zip through Pisces and move into Aries and then go back into Pisces in October. And the shift, I believe the change from Pisces to Aries is in May, end of April, May, but I have to double check my timing on that. But needless to say, Jupiter is zipping through Pisces relatively quickly. So, and when it changes from Pisces to Aries, we're going from mutable water, this unconditional love, last sign of the zodiac, all-knowing energy, to primal cardinal fire energy, this unbridled expansion of energy that is going to allow us to jump in all kinds of new beginnings, and this massive expansion of new beginnings, massive expansion of fire energy that's going to, we're not going to be able to sit still. That's a fact. And that, now I want to get back to February. We do have a pretty significant day in February, which is the U.S. on the U.S. natal chart. It's our Pluto return that happens every 246 years. I do believe there'll be some destabilization of some energies that the U.S. stands for. There may be some destabilization there. I think it's fair to say that's a good word for us to use for the remainder of all of 2022 after we get past these first couple of weeks, is destabilization. So we've got that coming up in February. Then there's another hit of that same degree in July, and then another one in December. So we've got some transformation relative to the areas that the U.S. is known for, or what systems defined the United States as the Declaration of Independence was signed in 1776. With all of this energy that is being poured into Uranus, a couple things I want you to take note of, and you might want to refer back to this video or get a pencil and paper and pause the video, because Uranus is going to destabilize things, and because destabilization is something that can be difficult to transition into, please be mindful of your health, be it mind, body, and soul, spiritual, physical, mental health. We're dealing with the second house and eighth house also, which has to do with psychology. Check on your friends. Make sure that I don't want this energy that's so fast moving to make you feel like somehow you've been left behind or that you don't understand. Reach out, talk to somebody. If it's, come out and reach out on my videos, grab a video, put a comment in there, I'll get a notification and I'll reach out to you. That is not a problem. I'm here for you. That's a fact. But just be mindful of, with all of this unstable energy, we're going to kind of need to stabilize ourselves from within. So it's important that we maintain that balance. And don't wish away challenges. I've had a very significant, probably 2 to 3 months that I'm coming out of now, and I made it a point to sit with that energy and not wish away my days. I wanted to find out, not only feel the circumstance for what it was, but how can I use this energy to my benefit? And typically when doing that, the answers will come. And sometimes it's just a matter of getting out and taking a walk in nature that really gets you back in that copacetic mode. But please don't wish your life away if you find yourself in an unstable environment that's just not familiar to you. Get comfortable in being uncomfortable, if that's such a thing. And then as things are presented to us, to you as an individual or us as a collective, I want you to be mindful of the decisions that you make based on the information that's provided to you. I think you do that already. We probably have all been trained to do that since 2020 and also 2021. But think about distractions. Is what you're seeing really the truth, or is it a distraction that you've either pulled yourself into or somebody else has? If it isn't rooted in the truth, let it go. Not worth your energy. You get to pick where you put your energy. So align with that 3D, or excuse me, align with that 5-dimensional consciousness and leave the 3D for somebody else. It is very important for us to maintain a high level of frequency. And your choice, manifestation, the powers of manifestation have never been greater. You can change your frequency by a choice that you make. So be mindful in your choices. Like I said, if a circumstance arises or a situation, whatever, arises, be mindful, take time, think it out. If the instability makes you nervous, get out in nature. Do something that makes you happy, because the highest frequency is love. Start with yourself. If you find yourself unstable, self-care, step away. unconditional love for yourself and then for others is the best thing to do. But I think this is super powerful energy for manifestation. The sky is the limit this year. We are going to be able to rewrite what we want and how we want it. But it starts with educated choices that are rooted in 5-dimensional practical theories. Okay? Well, that's all I have. And I guess there's one more thing I want to throw in there. Just remember that life happens for you, not to you. It is very, very, very important to know that. When we've got Jupiter and Pisces here, it's easy to resonate with victimhood, and that'll bring you that energy back down again. So just recognize that if you sit with energy, if a situation is just not comfortable for you, sit with that energy until that uncomfortableness goes away. And if you can't, get outside into nature, because nature will always fix it. Nature's going to bring out the love. Do something that you love. Paint a picture. If you have a pet, play with your pet. I promise you that situation's going to turn around real quick. So that's all I have for you this week. I hope you have a wonderful week. If you like this video, please do like it. If you would like to click the subscribe button, you'll know when a video is being dropped. And if you know someone that could be helped by these video updates, please do share it with them. I will be here with you every step of the way, all year long. I'm excited for 2022. Happy New Year and Namaste.